So what's the bounty at?
I don't know. I don't care. It's not why I'm here.
I bet the big Jamoke knows.
Yeah, I know exactly what it is.
What I do know is that it's double if you're brought back dead.
That's new. Will it be enough to pay for your funerals?
What I'm interested in is a little backwater place with a system code M344/G. I want to know what happened there 10 years ago.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another figure review. Today we'll be doing Riddick by a third-party company called Art Figures. This is technically called Dark Furyan, but it's, come on, it's Riddick. Guys, come on, it's Riddick. It's Riddick. But third-party licensings, they don't actually have the licensing, so they call it something else, so they can sell it. But this guy is wicked, near perfect. Absolutely near perfect. But yeah, let's get stuck into the review. As always, we'll start off with the box. Very nice box. I like the prototype photo of the figure in the front there. A little bit Photoshop, no seams on the joints here and around his throat area. If you hear any noise, just don't mind that. I have the door open with the fan going. It's a little warm in here. The dogs make a bit of a noise. But yeah, as you can see, it's kind of like a sandy browns and whites going through it, almost like this weird tornado effect. I think that's meant to signify wind, maybe. And then at the back here, you've got this like film reel kind of looking thing, all black. And then yeah, you take the slip cover off, if I can. There we go. Just like so. Then we have just a black box with obviously the Dark Furyan in the back here. Same picture as the front, just a little bit blue, but in that camera reel. And then you have Dark Furyan in the front here, 1/6 scale figure. You open that up, you've got a nice little art print there. Kind of makes him look a little chunky because he has no throat, no chin line or jaw line. But yeah, I do like that. And obviously the figure is in those little trays there. Without further ado, let's get on to the figure. Alrighty, so here we have the accessories, most of the accessories. Some of the accessories are already on Riddick, such as the sheath for these guys, and like a leather belt similar to the strap here, and also this leather binding that goes around his legs. And there was so much of that. As you can see, it comes with a fair amount, like this little shoulder piece. Then you have 2 wrist guards, 4 different sets of hands. You've got 2 rested hands, 2 holding hands for the weapons, 2 for some reason trigger finger hands, and 2 fists. You have his bone blade, which this is actually what I am going to repaint, because that olivey browny green weird bone color doesn't really match. I might do some on the blade a little bit, maybe a little bit of dry brushing on silver, just to give it a little bit of a better look. But the texture on this is awesome. The sculpt is amazing, and the fact that it comes in and out is really cool. Really happy with that. So then you have this little blade here, which he holds in between his 2 fingers here, where the blade sticks out there. Another blade from when he was the Necromonger leader, the Lord Marshal, and then obviously these 2 jawbone blades, which look really cool. You have this leather strap, which is for this guy, where you kind of just slip it there. You can tighten it, which is really cool. I'm glad that they included this, because I like the fact that you can have him displayed with this even though you're not using it, because my Riddick is a blade wielding guy, not necessarily a big sword, but the fact that you can do this and put it strapped across him, which is really cool. Yeah, then you obviously have his signature goggles, which look really cool. I kind of wish there was a shinier sheen to the lenses, but it's fine, it looks cool. I do like it. The texturing and just the detail in that is amazing. I'll get some close-ups a little later for you guys of all these little bits and pieces. Most likely just the blades as well as these parts here. Alright, here we have that big shoulder plate that he has. Two separate pieces, which is really nice. You can see that it's held on with this little bit of material here. And then, yeah, it's got these two clips from the inside there, which I will show you guys. Sorry if you hear any dogs. Yeah, it looks really nice. Just the only issue I have with it is the fact that these guys here aren't you know, invisible to the naked eye. It's take that part out. It sucks that these guys here are visible here, but yeah, it's still a nice piece to have. I don't display him with it because I don't really remember when he used it, but anyway, that's that there. Now we have the two wrist gauntlets, one handmade and one made when he was the Lord Marshal. This one looks really nice. It's got all like leather straps and looks like bones or claws from some sort of animal, symmetrical but not at the same time, which looks really nice. Maybe that's a bird skull of some sort. Looks really cool. I like the way the wrappings wrap around. Very nicely painted. I kind of wish that some of these straps were painted slightly differently, just to give it a little bit more of a handmade effect with different materials, but yeah, it still looks nice. And then this bit here looks good too, like a metal gauntlet. It's got some markings and stuff from the style from the Furians. Sorry, not Furians, the Necromongers. That's it, Necromongers. Looks nice, looks good on him. I do display him with both the gauntlets, just to hide the wrist pegs, you know. Looks good, I like it. And this is a bicep piece from when he was also the Necromonger leader. Looks cool, very sandy and weathered, as if it's been painted or rusted or even coated in some mud from the planet that he gets stranded on. Really cool. It looks nice on him, but it only makes sense with this big piece here, all shoulder padded up and all, you know. Looks pretty cool. I do like it. I don't display it with it just because it looks more accurate with only the two wrist gauntlets. And here we have the famous goggles. As you can see, this is so nicely detailed. I kind of wish these lenses were more of a shine, just to add a little bit more realism as if it is glass of some sort. But it's really nicely done. In the beginning of the movie, it was broken, so it looks like he took some sort of animal leather and made a new strap for it. And that's nicely dry brushed with some brown, just to give it more of a, bring out that detail, make it more pop. You know, the only problem with them is that that black rubs off. It is a clear kind of plastic. I'm not too sure if you can see it on screen, but it is if you can see there, a clear kind of plastic that they painted over, and I think that's where they went wrong. But very cool. I do like these. And the hands, I'll just show you one pair because they're all kind of the same. The hands look good, just standard hands. I'm pretty sure they're re-sculpted, not just taken from a random 1/6 scale, but they look good. They do the job, you know. The only issue I have is these hands and these hands. You can tell that these hands, the trigger fingers, you can see that they hold a weapon, a pistol or a handgun or whatever of some sort. These ones kind of as well. None of the blades that he has fit in these very well. They rest well, but if you have his hands posed up, they don't really go. They kind of have to jam them between the tips of the fingers and the palm of the hand. That's the only issue I have with the hands. Here you have his various blades. I absolutely love these things. They look so cool. The blades in the Riddick movies have always looked badass. Even in the first one, Pitch Black, where it was just a mass chunk of metal. You know, this looks really cool. So obviously your fingers are separated, two on this side, two on this side, and that sticks on your palm. Mine came slightly bent. Not by much, but nothing a little heat can't fix. The little holes on the inside look really nice. This looks really cool. I love the patterning the ridges. It's very harsh and feels like it might grip your hand really well, but also maybe hurt it if you squeeze it too tight with all those little sharp points. And then the design work on here, as well as the little cutouts on the inside here, same on both sides, but it looks really nice. It looks like they dry brushed some silver, not silver, it looks like they dry brushed a little bit of grey on the outside here. And then these bad boys look awesome. I love the way these guys look. Jawbones, bone weapons always look awesome, but like these ones are from Riddick, so they're even better. I like the fact that it looks like it's been hammered with maybe a stone or another chunk of metal, as if he's found the metal in the earth and then made his own weapons out of it. That's what I like about these two blades, as well as the big bone blade. Alright, here we have the big ass bone blade he has. I love this thing. It looks awesome. A beautiful sculpt, and if I don't say so myself, without bragging too much, beautifully painted. Now that it's been repainted. I wasn't happy with the paint job. The sculpt was amazing. The engineering, how this opens up, was amazing too. But the paint was pretty bad. It was this like olivey, light olivey browny color on the bone. It didn't look like a bone at all. And the blade wasn't too bad. I really could have left the blade, but while I was at it, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna paint the blade too. It was like a darker, almost like a grey, very, very dark grey, almost black, with this kind of similar paint to this browny orange, very light orange, you know, very light brown, splodged all over it. It didn't look too bad. The only problem was I kind of wanted to look a little bit more rough, a little bit more detailed. You can just see the paint of that orange I was talking about there. You can just see it. I wanted to leave some of it just to give it a little bit of authenticity, but now that it's been painted slightly better, you can see all these beautiful cracks and all these indents and all the bumps and grooves and all the little dots coming through here, cracks, and oh, it just looks so much better. The only thing I could have done was I could have been without that. This doesn't go far enough in for it to really matter to have that there. I was thinking about covering it up, but I was like, no, you know what, it's fine. It looks good the way it is. I'm just going to have it slung on his back anyway. Alrighty, and here we have Richard B. Riddick, escaped convict, murderer. I've been waiting a long time for a decent Riddick figure. I wanted to get I forgot what brand it was. I wanted to get the Chronicles of Riddick, one that they released so long ago, but it was always so expensive. It looked really good for the time. This one does look better. Some differences to the movie to this one, but you know, it's not Hot Toys, but it is a good third-party figure. Like the third-party figures today is getting better and better. I tell you, it might start rivaling a lot of other mainstream companies. But I think the whole licensing for the figures are getting a bit ridiculous in price-wise. Anyway, so here he is. My minor complaints about him. We'll get to that when we have close-ups of him. But this guy is awesome. Alrighty, as always, we'll start at the bottom. As you can see, he has those weird leather-like wrappings, I guess, over his feet that look like shoes with the laces and stuff. It's really nicely sculpted, nicely weathered. Some darker patches, some lighter patches there. It looks really, really nice. I do like the way they look. And here are the leather strappings that we got with it, with the knee guards over here and here. I had to assemble these sections by hand. These were just too clean, and I did record the before video of how they look, and I'll play it right here. So as you can see, this looks so much better. It looks like it's been around for a lot longer than fresh out the box kind of deal, and I do love the way it turned out. I like the one that's like so much thicker and longer than this side here. I do like the way they get you to do it yourself. It was kind of like in the previous videos, it's a pain in the ass, but I enjoyed it. I guess the best way to do it is when you open a massive amount of Lego and you have to build this massive ship or this huge building or whatever, and it's a lot of work, but it's enjoyable. I guess that's similar. It's a pain in the ass, but it was really enjoyable to do. Really, really cool how they did this. And this looks, it looks alright. Like the guards look okay. I think without the leather wrappings around, it wouldn't look as good. It kind of looks plasticky, not necessarily metal or leather-like, but it does look good regardless. So yeah, here we have the top part. As you can see, it really does look like leather. Obviously it's not, it's a very lightweight material and it feels really almost silky, like very soft kind of thing. You see like tears going through his pants here, and these wrinkles are sewn in there to give it that look of the movie, which is awesome. Then you have these folded bits that go underneath, just separate sections here. This was part of the accessories. Same with the pouches here that you had to tie on yourself. It just looks amazing, like all these details through the tears and the folds, and even the back here looks awesome. Just how it's folded over. It just looks very, very, it looks near perfect from the movie. It's a great representation. I'm kind of upset that Hot Toys never really decided to do any Riddick figures. But yeah, this looks amazing. As you can see, I already have one of the jaw blades in there, and as you can see, he has some of the armor that he made here and here too, from when he was the Lord Marshal. A knife from the Lord Marshal too. But no, it looks really cool. We'll have a look at the top parts of him now. Right, here is the torso part, and yeah, it looks awesome. Like all the different sewing techniques, all the little wrinkles and stuff, these are all not sculpted, it's all material. I don't even know how they did it. All these little sewing marks here, just the straps going everywhere, going around his shoulders here, coming down, the same kind of thing here, the same kind of, like, I guess, lined pattern, the tying knots here, these tassels coming down. I did put it in behind this here, because otherwise it sticks out like that. But man, just the sheer detail of the clothing is just amazing. I'm so pleased with how detailed it is. It's just amazing. I know I'm using detailed a lot, but man, is this detailed. But yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out. It's just absolutely amazing. Just all these little sewing marks all going through here. It's just absolutely gorgeous. I feel like I didn't take note of it in the movie just because it's kind of blended together all by the same color. But after getting this guy and really having it in hand and how detailed it is, it's just amazing. The shoulders up here do look a little jacked up for the movie, just because of how thick it is. Unfortunately, a lot of 6-scale figures have that situation where sometimes the realistic version of the clothes downscaled does look a little chunky, but for this it kind of works because of how big Riddick is meant to be. He's bigger here than he is in the movie, from what I can tell, especially up here just because of the clothing. But man, does it look cool. One thing I forgot to mention about this beautifully engineered clothing is that big armor piece that goes on his shoulder, the big shoulder pad or shoulder armor, is hidden. The little clips are hidden so nicely. Like there's one right there, if you can see it beyond my fingers, just there, and there's one behind this strap over here. Sorry, it's hard to show you and pull it down at the same time, but look at that. Now how awesome is that? So it doesn't have these big clunky bits of attachment mechanism to kind of hinder the figure. So they did so well, but the bone blade coloring was just awful. Alright, here we have Mr. Riddick here. As you can see, the head sculpt is pretty darn accurate to Vin Diesel here. It looks almost exactly like him, you know. Slight things are off, but honestly it's it looks like him. Like, even down to his slight double chin he's always had. A little bit of a seam line across his head here. I'm not too sure if you can pick it up, but just a little bit there. But you really have to look for it. I like the fact that they added wrinkles in his forehead, and but you can even see like the bumps and stuff he has on the back of his head here. It just looks like him. It looks a lot like him. Really, really well done. I love the head sculpt. I love the updated head sculpt from the Riddick figures. But let's take his goggles and really see what he looks like. Alrighty, here we have the ungoggled Riddick, and $10 goes to the first person who can tell me what's wrong with this. Yes, it left a horrible mark, paint smudge on his back of his head and around his eyes and nose, top bridge of his nose, because the goggles are either too tight or the paint they use is just bad. I don't know how you would have fixed it, but either make maybe magnetic on the back of the head, or because it surely would rest on his nose and his ears, but at the same time it is extremely tight, and that kind of screwed up this. I don't know, like maybe they should have casted it in black rather than painted it black, because it's a clear material that they painted of the goggles here. As you can see, it left horrible little stippling marks wherever the goggles have been placed. Yeah, and that's a massive downer on this figure. Like, they really screwed it up. Other than that, it's painted beautifully. I'll get a little bit of a close-up on the eyes, because that's what everybody wants to see, you know. But yeah, the eyebrows are a little bit sloppy work. It's just kind of like this genetic one color. Like, surely they would have seen it in the prototypes or tested it or something, you know. But either way, I'm not overly upset about it. Like, I am, don't get me wrong, I'm pretty upset about it. I'm probably 70%, but that 30% of me is like, you know what, I'm gonna display them with the goggles anyway, so you won't necessarily see it. As long as I put it on exactly where those marks are, those marks won't get worse and they won't get better, if that makes any sense. Other than that, yeah, it still looks like him. On a plus side, it still looks like him. I'll take a closer look at his eyes, because that was one of the first things I did, was I picked him up and had a good look at how they painted his eyes, because they did really well with his eyes. Alrighty, so this is as close as I could have gotten to his eyes. As you can see, they're painted really, really cool. So what I can tell is the eye is silver, right? And then they have this white, I guess, pupil in the middle there to give it that infinity look. Infinity silver is what I like to describe it as. I really do like how they did his eyes. It's definitely an update to the original one that they came out with for the Chronicles of Riddick, and I really do like it. But yeah, you can really see the marks of the goggles now, and the wrinkles in the face. 5 o'clock shadow looks good too. Always wondered how he got such a clean shave in these movies. But yeah, no, I really do like it. All the veins and markings on his forehead and the side of his head, that really does show in Vin Diesel as a person.